everybody, and welcome to Plaid Stallions Toy Ventures. I'm Brian, your host, and this past week I had a fantastic opportunity to visit New York for work and experience Toyfair 2025. This opportunity would also allow me to spend a day in Philadelphia visiting the ZoloCon Toy Show that was on the same weekend. How could I pass up this once-in-a-lifetime experience? I simply couldn't. I wasn't at Toyfair for reporting purposes. Actually, I was there to do my actual job. But I did manage to pop into several booths and run into a few friends and gather some photos of things I really liked, and I'm going to share them now. These are the highlights for me of Toyfair 2025. My main priority at Toyfair, of course, was the Mego booth, and that's the first place I showed up at. The Mego booth was set up to look like a 70s living room, and I think the big reveal for me were these deluxe figures with accessories, including Michael Keaton's Batman, Neo, and Hawkman. Monsters seem to rule the day at Mego this year, with new characters based on the Creepshow series and the Conjuring films, not to mention the man behind the mask, Jason Vorhees, finally making its way to Mego. Some of the next superhero figures appear to be returning to the blister card format, at least for certain retailers. I really do want to give props for the iconic artists on these cards. However, due to the deal with Disney, there was no talking on the next Marvel wave at Toyfair. Sorry. Some of the other highlights would include the Neca booth, which had these wonderful Ben Cooper figures. They just keep adding these things. I really like seeing Godzilla, Planet of the Apes, and Jaws. Maybe someday I'll see the Collegeville the Bat costume I wore as a kid, but I probably won't hold my breath on that one. I also have to say that NECA's celebration of the 50th anniversary of Jaws includes a recreation of the game that is just fantastic. I need this. I want this. Super 7 had a very big and crowded booth this year, but the thing that really caught my eye were these O-ring Universal monsters. These and the Micronauts that they've already announced, it would be really hard for me to resist. Trick or Treat Studios had the 8-inch Mego-esque Shock Monster and Beast of Blood on display, now showcasing their blister cards. I'm a total junkie for Hemisphere Pictures movies. The Blood Island movies are really special to me, and I am looking forward to this figure. I also ran into my friend Steve Ford at the Onyx booth, and he's doing some really interesting things with Captain Action, including a horror element, and I really liked this new original horror character. After the excitement of Toyfair, I hopped a train, and within an hour I was at ZoloCon for its final day. This is at their new location, which is the Valley Forge Casino and Resort, and wow, this is a big space that I almost got lost in a couple of times. As for the quality of the items there, well, you judge for yourself with the following montage, and then I'm going to get into my regrets and pickups. Hang tight. As you can see from the footage, ZoloCon was mainly a vintage toy show, and a lot of these dealers really brought it. I saw some amazing things that I had been looking for years previous. But the one thing that really caught my eye was in my friend Mark's booth, and that was this Spanish Spider-Man figure by a company called Vicma. This is a 2-foot tall Spider-Man figure that really gives me a real Mego vibe, and it's topped off by the figure actually looking really, really cool as well. These are very rare, and this is the first time I've ever actually seen one in person. I've seen photos, and it was really something to see. I'm glad I saw it. Those of you that follow the channel might know that I'm an avid collector of Presto Magic sets, and this Hulk one was tempting, but I honestly could not remember if I had it or not. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. I also wanted to inquire the price of this ideal inflatable Dr. Zaius from Planet of the Apes. However, I just forgot due to the overwhelming eye candy of the whole show. In terms of pickups, this was kind of a light show for me. I was there more for the social element than to buy toys. I was there to see old friends from Mego meet, the Stallions group, and to sit down with two of my Lincoln Monsters cohorts, Frank from Absolutely Retro and Todd from Figure Fiend. And speaking of Figure Fiend, I couldn't believe this was still available a day later, and that is the 8-inch custom Mego Nepos from the Pack Toys Lords of Light line. Lords of Light is a toy line produced in the 1980s by a company called Phoenix Pack Toys, and it utilized old Micronauts tooling, and you can see more of it in my video here. This is one of the things that when I saw it, I hoped it would still be available, and I was very grateful that it was. He's done an amazing job, and even included a glow stick that you could shove in the figure just like the originals, and here I am about to attempt that, so hopefully I don't break anything. Todd also gifted me this amazing Zordius figure. Now this is based on the Space Creatures head masks that Pressman Toys came out with in the late 1970s. These were all designed by Dick Smith, who was a legendary Hollywood makeup artist, and I just thought this was such a novel idea to turn these iconic characters into some bootleg Star Wars figures, and it's just so welcome. This guy is just fantastic, and he looks like he's about to fight Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. So that is my wrap-up of my incredible weekend going from Toyfair to Toy Show. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you can in the comments, tell me what you think of the stuff from Toyfair or whatever vintage turns you on from the ZoloCon. I'd love to hear that in the comments below or in the Stallions Facebook group. Thank you for everyone who's watching, especially if you watched to the end. If you're new to this, please consider hitting like and subscribe. If you're not new to this, please consider sharing it. I really appreciate it. That's all for now, folks. Till next time, be